viewers. So yep, it's me. This week we've got a really special piece for me to make, and that is I'm getting married at the end of the year. I don't know whether you guys know that or not, but I am, and I've decided I would like to make the cake stand for our wedding cake. So this huge piece of beech is going to be the top piece of our cake stand. I mean, it's 15 inches wide at the moment, so it's pretty close to the bedways. I think it's more than 15 in some places, and yeah, it's a beast. It's not light. So I've set the machine at 100 RPMs. I am well away from it, because if that comes off and hits me, it's going to tickle. I can get 500 RPM out of it. It is shaking, the lathes, but it isn't violent. They don't look great, but it's not violent. Right, let's get it kitted up then. So face shield for definite, and also Bertha will be coming out, I think. Let's get it to round. I'm going to take some, I'm going to straighten this side up first here to get it a bit straighter than it is. So we can straighten up that side a little bit, get it round. Yeah, and go from there. I might need to even bring you guys further away. I can't see much. Nope. Right, we've got up to 620 RPM. I managed to get that side cut out. Look, thankfully, to the bowl rest that I've got here, but I've got it at, well, as much as I can anyway. A little bit of shape that I was just playing with, just to see what we can get. We've still got 14 inches in diameter. I only need 12 for the cakes, so 14 is good, to be honest. Just need to clean this up a bit across here, take that down a little bit more, and then a real big cut in. So unfortunately, this corner here, there's a massive amount of wasted material going to be there, but now what do you do? So I've sharpened up my bowl gouges, and then put my put my arm down by my side, and they're sat on my lap, so nice little scratch in my arm. Thank you. Let's see if we can hog some material out then. So I've got my lovely Robert-Sorby 3/8 bowl gouge, which I've just sharpened up, as you can probably see there, to ridiculously sharp. But then I've also just sharpened it. It was actually Bertha that got me, so I've just sharpened up Bertha as well to pretty stupidly sharp, because cut me really easily. Yep, okay, I'm gonna try and hog out this corner if I can with the bowl gouge on, bowl rest on, sorry. The finish on this thing is rubbish, as in it's all pitted and everything, but you know, we'll see what happens. Yeah, crack on. building. Whatever that thing was is now out. I want to have a look at it, whatever it is, because whatever it is, it's really hard. I bet it's a pith of some kind or a big knot. Oh, it's a big knot, and it's also, well, you guys can see that, it is metal. I'm going to have to pick this out to find it. Hopefully it's the only bit of metal that we find in here. Well, there's one. I'm kind of glad that came out when it did. As you can see, I have chopped through quite a bit of that. Let's crack on. Now 6:40 now. Oh, so that got rid of it. Not quite. Most of it. Got some sealant, some gluing to do here. These cracks. I mean, that's coming down a little bit anyway. I'm going to lose the top of this bit anyway, but yeah. Right, so now what I've got to do is I've just got some bits super glued up in there. Sprayed in the activator. What I've got to do now is it is cut out for the chuck and recess point for when it wants to go onto the stem. And I want to make that exact, so so much time now. "34 minutes of recording time left." Right, and so not sure whether you can see or not. Hopefully you can. But I have cut in a bit of a groove, cut grooves into this part here. This is my chucking point, so it's ready to be turned around and chucked up. But I've got grooves into the bottom here, and this won't be sanded or anything, so I'm going to leave it quite rough because that's where it's going to be glued to the stem. So I'll keep it a good key in for the glue to go into. It's now time for the long job of sanding, but one of the most important jobs as well. It all needs sanding up. I filled in all the knots and little splits with sawdust and super glue, so they've all been filled in as much as possible, and yeah, get to the dusty, messy sanding part. So unfortunately that means that the big extractor goes on. sanded up. You'll see it on the screen now. But it'll be sanded from this stuff probably 80, just to cut into that's super glue that I put. So 80 very quickly, and then 120, 240, 320, 400, 600, 800, maybe 1,000, then Yorkshire grit, sanding sealed and Yorkshire grit. So you guys are going to see the 80 and maybe a bit of 120, and then you'll see the 1,000, because it's the same stuff, just working through the grits. Okay, cool. Oh, really sorry about that. I don't know what quite happened, but my camera died, and I don't know how much you guys got to see of that, but yep, it's all sanding sealed up. You see, it's lovely. I had some kind of weird reaction in the here and here with the sanding sealer and the accelerator that I sprayed on when I put the super glue in. So I'm not quite sure what's gone off there, but yeah. It's all done. I've got some really cool flashes, like chatoyance flashes coming through these bits here and this bit here as well. Whether it shows up on camera or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really cool. Right, let's get it spinning, and it's Yorkshire grit time. So yeah, it's just like a Scotch-Brite cloth, and I use it just to cut through the sanding sealer, because the sanding sealer seems to yeah, put quite a bit of a barrier up, so you have to use something abrasive to get through it. Just the tissue and the Yorkshire grit doesn't seem to be enough. So no, I'm not pressing on with this, just really gently. There we go. Right, that's that done with the avernet. Now we're going back to the tissue. And some more Yorkshire grit. With this being such a big piece, this is going to take some time, so I'll probably bring you guys back when I've done it. Okay, that's the normal Yorkshire grit done with, so now we're on to the microfine Yorkshire grit. I'm going to put plenty on with this stuff. Probably hear I've got the lathe turned up to 1070 RPM. It's kind of making everything rattle everywhere. I have technically turned off, it's still going 400 RPM. And there we have it. Right, so now it's microcrystalline wax time. So is what it is, wax. And this again is the same idea. It's put it on and then buff it off. I'll put it on with the clean side of what I've just been buffing it off with. So I won't be putting it in there though, because I need it to be, I need to glue that. which I shouldn't have put Yorkshire grit in there either, which I have done, so I'll have to get some acetone or something like that to wipe in there to get that off. Right, now that is I need to leave that now for 20 minutes, as you've just heard me say to Eve, and I'll be back to buff it off. Right, so this needs polishing up. I'm at 500 RPM at the moment. It's 800. Everything's falling off. Whoa. The lathe doesn't like that. I've actually turned the lathe down to 100 and it's still going at 300 RPM now. Yeah, it's really cool. I'll leave it on the lathe tonight, give it a little bit of buff off tomorrow. Alright, so just giving that another buff up. Just finished buffing it up. I'll slow it down if we can. Oh, that's come out pretty shiny. So it's time to turn it around now and get it off the lathe. Pretty big. Big old flying saucer in a minute. But so we can get it mounted up that way around. I open out these jaws as much as I dare, so they're really nice and tight into it, because I don't want it moving. Love how it started doing that noise again. Okay, we get to about 660 by the feel of that. We'll be able to get that down a bit more anyway once we work that across. Right, now we've just had it spinning up to that speed. We'll get it down, slowed down, and double check that they're nice and tight, which they is, and that is, they can't go anymore. It's always worth checking it just to make sure it hasn't slipped or anything when you spun it up. Right, let's get it, get the face cut. As you can see, this is going to take quite a while. I don't know, let's see how close we are to those screw holes. Nope, they're still there. Obviously we're nowhere near flat, but At least the tear out's nowhere near what it was. I'm just going to carry on working my way down on that, and then I'll bring you guys back once I've got there. So we've got an inch all the way around, bigger than we need to have. That'd be quite nice, a little tiny bead, only a little one, not much. Tool rest away, and we're going to start sanding. But I'm not going to bore you with the sanding part because you've probably already seen it a million times on my channel, hopefully, if you've watched all my videos. That's a part to say, please like, share, subscribe, and watch all of my other videos, please. I'd be really grateful if you did. I know most of you do. Most of my viewers watch many more than just one of my videos, which is kind. And I like it when you all comment as well, because I know that you're actually watching them and that you're enjoying it. And tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I can't be perfect, so I must be doing something that, you know, not quite as good as others, which would make my channel better. So if you know what that is, I'm more than happy for you to tell me. That'd be brilliant. So I'm going to get the palm sander out for this. I'll just get myself set up here now. I'm going to use the palm sander to... look at that going. Love it. I'm going to use the palm sander to start off with on here, because the palm sander is lovely and flat. It's got a nice flat surface area about that big, so I can literally just sand straight across and hopefully get a nice flat plane, because I don't want it. I don't want any lumps, bumps, undulations or anything in this really. And then once I've sanded it once, about 120 grit, I'll check it, see how flat I've got it. So I need it as flat as possible for that cake to sit on. So I'll go and grab that, get myself set up and bring you back. Yeah, it's getting a good reflection on it now. Yeah, it's 1500 RPM now. Oh, it's quite nice. However you guys can see it at all. Probably not. Right. So that's the top part of the cake stand done. Just gonna take it off the chuck. Pretty cool. Super flat look. You see any of this tie inside? No, I don't know whether you can or not. It's probably too shiny to see it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's the top of it, obviously, and then nice little rim detail on the rim. Then underneath. It's still got some weight to it, but there again, it wants to have some weight to it because the cake is going to be really heavy, because it's a bit like me, it's a fruit cake. So yeah, cool. I've just got to make the stem now, and then the base. Alright, put it down there for a minute. Oh.